Welcome back. Outa is heading to the courts today to challenge another attempt by Dudu Myeni to escape her lifetime delinquency order. The organization says the former SAA director is trying to block the interim enforcement of the order, saying that she's no longer on any SOE board. Now, Outa's Chief Legal Officer Advocate Stefanie Fick speaks to us now. Ms. Fick, thank you so much for your time. Take us through what today will look like for you as you challenge this appeal by Dudu Myeni.
Let me just remind you that she has an automatic right to appeal. This is the 18.3 order, which means that the delinquency declaration is come in force while the whole appeal process continues. Now, normally, the minute you appeal a decision, the order is suspended so that the appeal process can continue. But, looking at historic events, we decided that it may be a good idea to also ask the court for this delinquency order to be enforced immediately. So while there's this appeal process, which everybody has a right to, that the order stands. So that is what we are arguing today. In December, Judge Tolmay did not grant Ms. Myeni leave to appeal, and she also granted this 18.3 immediate, so the delinquency come into play immediately, granted that in December. So Ms. Myeni now is using her automatic right to appeal to a full bench, and that is what we are arguing today. She's obviously arguing that the 18.3 application should not be granted, and we are saying that the judgment should stand.
Right. Just based on her filing, her heads of argument, I understand that she missed that deadline. It was meant to be on the 5th of February. Obviously, that has been missed, or rather, it was due by close of business on the 5th of February, and it was still due even then. It seems like she hasn't submitted it. What are the consequences of her not filing on time?
Well, firstly, we will have to see. It would be interesting what the court will say this morning. Now, we haven't received. It's quite possible that she tried to file with the court in the meantime, but I doubt it. We haven't received any heads of argument. And heads of argument is to assist the court in what is your argument and why are you asking for the order. So it's part of our court rules. So one has to ask, why? Why ignore a specific directive from court to file your heads of argument, unless, of course, they didn't want to. That they've decided they don't want to file heads of argument. But, seeing everything together, they've also missed the deadline for the petition because the merits of the case, in other words, her declaration, because she didn't get leave to appeal at the court of first instance, she now has to petition the SCA. And that is also part of our argument. Because she missed that deadline, she now has to ask condemnation for the petition. And that technically she is now declared a delinquent director.
But it also seems that you are of the notion that it will be an uphill battle for her to convince the SCA to grant her, that appeal for her delinquency order, to be granted that leave to appeal.
Of course. Firstly, she now has to cross the hurdle of asking for condemnation. So she will have to convince the court, why did she file her petition so late? And then looking at the merits of the case, one has to remember that this is a case that was argued already. And there was then the argument for leave to appeal before a court, which was denied. And now she needs to convince a higher court, not only that, for condemnation, why she filed late, but also that her case has enough merit for them to give her condemnation so that we can argue the matter. Now, this is a bit subjective, obviously, from our side, is that the judgment was good, and the actions or the reason why Ms. Myeni was declared a delinquent director is extremely serious. Right. And we are of the opinion that she will not be successful. She will not convince even the SCA that her delinquency declaration should be set aside. All right.